Hey, another one from Neil's Han Dynasty, live from the basement of the empire of the dynasty of Neil Han. Neil's Han Dynasty. Anyhow, like, share, and subscribe. Be kind, helpful, and grateful. Buy some silver, some platinum, and some crystallized osmium. And crystallized osmium is going to go up faster than all the precious metals, by the way. Already has. But that's not what this is about. This is about me running my mouth about interior vlog. These guys here. I don't want to plagiarize anything. No plagiarizing here in the Han Dynasty, so that way I don't get another video taken down for copyright infringements when I'm giving full credit to the people who do the video. Anyhow, that just happened. This is about Burkina Faso. Obviously, Ibrahim Traoré trains Burkina engineers to build skyscrapers and high-rise bridges in Africa. Let's see what he's got to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Intervlog. I say this is Intervlog. And I am here once more. I'm here because there is one important information that I brought you today, and this information is about what Ibrahim Traoré said. We are going to listen to the speech of Ibrahim Traoré, and there is one important thing he said here. And after hearing that, I began to clap for him because that thing is what every African country needs now. And you would ask me, what is that? Well, he made a speech. And on this speech, he focused on production, manufacturing, and building. And he especially focused on engineers. He said that he is going to do everything possible to make sure that whatever they are importing from abroad into Burkina Faso will be manufactured in Burkina Faso. Whatever. Therefore, he will focus to train Burkina-based engineers, that the best course for the Burkina Faso is engineering. He praised people who are taking courses like literature, philosophy, law, psychology, history, but he said that what Africa needs and what Burkina Faso needs is people who can build the continent. Therefore,
Wilco has been proudly
focused on engineering, and he is going to make it attractive. The attractive he means is the payment that we pay people from abroad or from outside Africa will be the same to any engineer who can deliver the same quality of job in Africa. And after he said this, I was shouting and clapping because this is what I've been thinking about. Why is it that when Africa wants to build airports, they will go to either China, Japan, to bring builders? When Africa wants to build skyscrapers, they will go to Turkey, China, India, Iran to bring the builders. When Africa wants to build bridges, the same thing. When Africa needs a car, the same thing. Then that is the problem of Africa. Africa needs engineers. More than all this law, everybody is doing literature, philosophy, psychology, history. And while you are importing expats and building from outside, there is where Africa is spending all their money from oil, from gold, and so on and so forth. And Ibrahim Traoré has addressed that. He said he is going to support both small and big industries to make sure that Burkina Faso engineers have places where they work, and the payment of any Burkina Faso or any Burkina Bay engineer whose work is comparable to what is outside will be the same as the payment we pay people from outside. I want you to listen to this marvelous speech of Ibrahim Traoré, because he talked a lot about production, manufacturing, and economy, and that is beautiful. Let's go.
So, it will really take a fairly scientific process so that in the future, when the power plant is there, in the not too distant future, it will be the exclusive property of Burkina Bay, that the Burkina Bay engineers will take ownership of it and be able to implement it, to be able to maintain it when the conclusions of the discussions that are underway with the partners for the thermal power plant are published. We will make that available to you. And if we need you, we will tell you so that we can quickly implement this plan as well. So let's talk about the area of the economy, which is very important to us. We are in the process of setting up a process, and we are continuing gradually, because that should help relieve the private sector and be able to revive the economy. Currently, we are going to quickly turn to the state companies. Their general meeting has just finished, as you have seen. It works very well, and they have achieved very good results. We will start with state-owned companies, subtract a little from their DAT to ease the economy and keep it running, ease the domestic debt, and keep the economy running. So in the coming days, God willing, many entrepreneurs should be relieved after signing the agreement with state-owned companies. But we are in the process, in the mining sector, as I told you, of taking a certain independence. This should allow us to have a good number of resources in terms of finances, but also and above all, the industrialization component, which should fill this economic component, because we spend a lot abroad. We are in the process of setting up all the processes so that our currencies do not go out. In the meantime, at the AS level, as you have seen, we have decided to set up an investment bank and also a sovereign fund. This process, therefore, the technicians are on it. The reflection is in progress, and we hope in the near future that they will present us with something substantial. The other strategic aspect, which I will not talk about, and which you know, we are moving forward calmly, and when the time comes, it will surprise you. And stay tuned. That's all I can say. In the trade and industrialization aspect, we have also made the diagnosis, as I was telling you. Currently, as you can see, we have listed a good number of products that we import from outside. So we are starting an industrialization process. We must manage to put as many industries as possible on site to transform our raw materials and to be able to manufacture what we consume. We are in this process, and we are discussing with many partners to have as many industries as possible on site. This will ensure that our currencies do not go out and that the economy runs well and that we can also have jobs for young people. It is in this context that we have taken certain decrees to facilitate the creation of small businesses. We have cut all taxes for a good number of years so that small businesses can be created and survive.
I just have to stop it there. I said a couple months ago, if you want economic prosperity, go to Burkina Faso and start a small business. Their leader just said the same thing. How amazing is that? I was a little bit ahead of him. But see, had you got in when I had mentioned it, you'd be so much further ahead than after the government asks people to start small businesses. But that's why you just watch.
Unfortunately, small businesses find themselves faced with financing needs. It must be said, at the level of banks, it is very complicated for us to have financing when you create your business. We met the world of bankers, and as I said, we exchanged. But I am not at all satisfied because the return that had to be made so that we accompany them to finance small businesses is not satisfactory. That is why we are reorganizing our funds that were available at the state.
He met with the central bankers. They told him one thing. He said, I'll accept it, but I don't like it. We're going to change it because I don't like what you're doing. He just said that. He told the bankers, all right, we'll play your game, but check this out. We're going to start our own shit to where we don't have to play your game because your game sucks. Basically, that's what I got out of what he just said. Look at all that steel. See, that's what I do. I do that stuff. Skywalker. And they're doing that stuff in Africa. I could be making a lot of money over there right now.
State level. We have gathered them into a certain number of funds, both at the level of agriculture, both at the level of the Ministry of Employment, to be able to replenish these funds soon, and to be able to allow young people who create businesses to have credits, and to be able to get started. And I take the opportunity to call on the world, again, of bankers, to come back with proposals, because we have solutions, but perhaps not good solutions for them. But they must come back a little to support us in being able to help young people get by. If necessary, we will be obliged to put in place a plan, perhaps one that will not please, but we will be obliged. In the field of
He's basically telling the central banker, say, you're going to come back with a better deal for us, because if not, you're not going to like what we're going to do. Sorry.
commerce, as you have noticed, many people have contacted us during our tours of the yard markets. We have taken stock of the situation. There is so much work to be done to rebuild these yard markets. Today, when you take Ouagadougou, the mayor, I would like to hold awareness sessions everywhere concerning a certain number of traders who have set up shop in an anarchic manner on the side of the streets. But I have instructed that it should always be awareness raising while waiting for us to clear the spaces to build markets worthy of the name and ask people to come and take shops in these markets and now be able to free up the streets to be able to expand and clean up our environment.
Damn, I love this guy. He's saying everything right. Man, America wasn't such a great place compared to every other place in the world. The best opportunity I see going right now, other than in America, would be Burkina Faso. And I mean, right now, if you had a couple, $20,000, I'd go there and go into business with some locals, into a small business, whatever. There's lots of them to be opened, but that's the kind of opportunity I'm talking about. Anyhow, Africa's changing. West Africa, keep your eye on West Africa. The Sahel region, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. It's like, that's the area of the world you need to look at, because that's the area of the world that's going to be, of that part of the world, they're going to run Africa. And everyone's going to look to Africa because that's going to be the new building economies. In other words, they're going to be, their building of their society is going to stimulate the world economy. And they want it done on a gold-backed dollar. So I don't know if CDBC will get pushed or not. I'm sure it will. But the reality is, West Africa is the future of finance and industry. And they're like America in the 1930s and 40s, or even earlier, probably the teens and 20s, where we had our industrial revolution. Actually, that was the late 1800s, but they're a little bit more advanced than that. But they're having an industrial revolution. They're taking ownership of everything. It's a similar scenario. It's a country rebuilding, reorganizing, taking control of all of its facilities and managing them and organizing them. And there's great opportunity in that. And that hasn't happened in such a large scale in my lifetime that I know of. So I see opportunity. That's why I bring you these videos. You guys have a nice night.